All right, going live. 3, 2, 1. Hi, guys. I just thought I'd jump on and do a live. I need to probably bring this a little bit closer because I can't see. I'm getting older. I can't see for shit. I thought I'd talk the Elinikon and maybe just jump on and answer some questions to people that obviously have them. It's coming up to summertime in Greece. I've got a few people over there at the moment. One of my clients is there right now. I've got a couple more meeting up with me a little on down the track. Checking out properties, being in touch with agents left, right, and center. So it's kind of getting very interesting, very hot and heavy. I mean, it's 40 degrees over there as well. So I am looking forward to that, but I'm also not looking forward to that. Thought I'd jump on and just see if anyone's got any questions that need answered and to update you guys on what my thoughts are about the Elinikon project and sort of the situation at hand and how you go ahead with potentially buying something at Elinikon or even having a chat to them and all that kind of stuff. Because I got in touch with them last week, sat on a meeting with a client of mine, which was pretty interesting. Hi, George. How are you, mate? How's Adelaide going? Cold, I assume, because we're freezing as well. So we're getting all your weather. But yeah, so Sunday night. For anyone who is interested in my services as well, I will be in Greece in July. Actually, like next week, I fly off. I go to Spain first, and then I head off to Greece. I'll be in Greece probably around about the 23rd, 24th. Hit me up. You want me to appraise something? You want me to check some stuff out? You want me to give you some information on renovations or whatever it is? I'm doing that for a few people. I'm going to be in Athens as well, catching up with a few agents that I've been speaking to, checking out the Elinikon project. And also renovating my own places as well. So I can't wait to record all that and actually send it through to you guys and just show you guys what I do. That, it's very easy to sit back and talk the stuff, but you got to walk the walk as well. So for give me a job, mate, don't even start. With regards to the Elinikon project, there was a very interesting situation. You obviously apply to Lambda Capital, I think it is, whatever their name is. And you register your interest, and then eventually they get back to you within a few days or however long it takes. They're like, "Hey, thank you very much. What are you interested in? Let's schedule up. Let's schedule a phone call or a FaceTime or a team meets or whatever it is." So you jump on, you have that conversation with them as well, and they kind of ask what it is that you want and sort of how much you're looking to spend and what they have available and this and that and sort of how it goes. It's very interesting how they got the reins on that situation as well, because it actually, what you do then, once you register your interest and you have that conversation, you kind of go, okay, I want to spend, $500,000, which you're not getting anything anymore for $500,000. Not definitely not in the current situation, in the current building. It's the West, I forgot what it's called, Golden Sands. I don't know. I forgot what it's called, but I can let you guys know if you're into it. But so all the 1 and 2 bedroom apartments are gone, which means if you're looking to buy, it's 1.1 upwards. And it's interesting because if you start to look at Airbnb, which I have around those areas, and sort of like Father in particular, I'm also for just one of the clients who wants to buy. I was looking to see what how many of them. Firstly, what the market's done in those areas, in Lifada and Vula and surrounding areas, and also if anyone is actually Airbnb. Hey, Whitehorse, and it's crazy that you can actually Airbnb in the Elinikon for about 5,000 a week, 6,000 a week, and that's the standard to 1 bedroom or 2 bedroom, I think it is. Mind you, around those areas as well, things have gone up. There's villas in Vula that are Airbnb for 70,000 a week, 60,000 a week dollars. And generally, when I look at the 7th of July to the 14th of July, which is pretty much peak. So there are places, and I mean, they're big, beautiful, gorgeous places. You would expect them to go for that much, but 70 grand a week for the week is insane. But then once you speak to the Elinikon people and the apartments that they got on offer, or the apartments that they're looking at releasing down the track, because they're not going to release everything at once, they're going to stagger it. They're going to create supply and demand. And most of them, how much to buy in Greece, but depends what you want to buy. Depends what you're after, where you're after, what you want to do with it. Like, it's, how long's a piece of string? Really depends. But you know, 50,000 euro upwards. Not even. You could get it. Depends. Again, it could be really small. Depends on what you want. But what I was going to say is they're staggering the release of the buildings. Cheap as chips. Yeah, man. It really is. Uh, and actually, it's not even as cheap as what it was. 2017, I bought my first one for 19,000 euro. It's a one-bedroom apartment in Thessaloniki, in the heart of Thessaloniki. 48 square meters, and it's now sitting at about 65. But yeah, and they're only just going up. Property prices are going up in Greece at the moment because we're the last country, well, one of the last countries in Europe to actually inflate since the GFC, since everything, that whole triple threat that we have, which was the GFC. It was then defaulting on the bank loans, and then it was COVID, which just plummeted us. How many properties you own? Sorry, last question. I'll let you finish. It's all right. I've got a few. I'm not going to say exactly how much, but I've got a few in my name. So, I look personally. I've only started buying in the last 5 or so years, 6 years, but I've inherited quite a bit as well. I'm an only child. My parents started buying like that. My parents started buying years and years ago. They moved back to Greece in 2005 and obviously started buying stuff there. And I was part of that process, obviously just hanging around and seeing what they were doing, and obviously being their own child and blah, blah, blah. And this is all going to be yours and da, da, da. And then eventually I started cottoning on, and then I started buying in 2017. So I'm very fortunate in that case that I've been around the property game, in the Greek property game, since, 20 years, if you put it that way. Oh, God. Anyway. But the Elinikon project in itself it's very interesting because some places you can Airbnb, some places they will not let you ever short-term rent it out. It's in the contract. And I remember asking this question. I was like, oh, so we can Airbnb this? No. Well, the ones that we were looking at, yes. But if you go on the ones where they're releasing later on down the track, where it's right on the water and sort of like the Greek Riviera, the Athenian Riviera, no short-term contracts allowed, no short-term lease allowed, and it's contractual, so you will never be able to short-term lease that. I mean, as far as I'm aware, never. If it's in a contract, I can't imagine you'd be able to break that somehow, but who knows? But as far as they're aware, no, they're not going to allow that, and that makes sense because when those properties are selling for anywhere from 5,000 to 15,000, sorry, 9,000 to 15,000 euro per square meter at 120 square meters upwards, yeah, it makes sense. A person is going to buy that, who's going to spend 3-4 million on a euro on an apartment there, isn't going to want some British backers fucking going nuts, recreating Mykonos in the apartment next door to them. It makes absolutely sense. Cool. There's some very interesting people. But yeah, so it was quite interesting to have that conversation with the Elinikon people and just sort of go through it step by step. The other interesting thing that I found out is that the beaches around there, and I thought they might have been privatized. I thought they might have just sort of held onto those beaches purely just for the people that lived on the Elinikon or around in there, given that it's kind of becoming a 15-minute city. But no, they're going to obviously create beach bar. We'll sell them off to beach bars, and they're going to put down the exaplos, and they're probably going to charge people 50 euro or whatever it is to go and sit down there and whatnot. I'm sure there'll be some kind of deal that strikes up with the people that have property at the Elinikon. It would make sense to, because why wouldn't you? But at the same time, yeah, I thought it'd be a privatized beach, but it's not. So far, from what I've heard, from what I had a chat to, it's not. But the process seems pretty straightforward. You have a chat, they let you know what's available, you put down, you register your interest, and basically it's first come, first serve. And I will put a video explaining everything more in detail about this as well. I'm also going to be in Greece. I'm going to go down and have a chat to them in the next few weeks and try and get as much information as I can. But I do deal with the Elinikon project if anyone is interested in the Elinikon. There is a lot more stages coming from what I saw. There's a lot more being built. There's stuff that faces the beach, there's stuff that faces east, west, north, south, whatever it is that you want. Obviously, prices is an issue, but realistically, the 1 and 2 bedroom apartments get snapped up like that. and they're not facing the beach, not for under a mil anyway. From what I gathered, from what I understood, not for under a mil. Tips for first time sales agent. Sales agent in what sense? Are you selling? What are you selling, brother? What sort of tips are you looking for? Are you looking to sell property in Greece? Are you look? I don't understand what the question is, but yeah, if you let me know, I'll be able to give you more in depth information on what it is that you're looking for. So yeah, that was a very interesting scenario, but it property in Oz, bro. And I'm just starting. Oh, I don't deal with property in Australia, brother. I don't invest in property in Australia. Not at the current, not the way the current market is. I don't know, but I mean, look. Well, I have been looking at stuff, but I just I thought you were Aussie. I am Aussie. I live in Melbourne, but I don't invest here. I invest in Greece. I wouldn't. I can stretch the money out far greater in Greece than I can in Australia. It just doesn't make sense for me. For me personally, it doesn't make sense. Hey, Danny. It doesn't make sense for me to lock myself down for 30 years to what, half a mil for an apartment, whatever, because I'm not really gonna. I mean, it's just me and my dog, who's behind me. I think there he is. It doesn't make sense for me to lock myself down into 30 years for something in an apartment that's really not going to grow that much. Like the amount that I would spend on a deposit, I ended up buying property in Greece. So, and I own all of it, and I don't own a mortgage. I don't have a mortgage or anything like that. So the market has just grown exponentially over the last 5 years. There's a rental crisis there. So my properties haven't been emptied for 7 years. The first one, you need a citizenship to buy in Greece. No, you don't. Anyone can buy in Greece. You don't need to be a citizen. It can come with a citizenship to the EU, which is a golden visa situation, which is currently at about €250,000. But no, you don't need a citizenship. You do need a tax file number. You need a bank account, and not even a Greek bank account. Generally, a European bank account will do because they're part of the EU. It does take a little bit longer for someone like you. I assume you're not a citizen. To buy, but it's absolutely possible. They're not going to say no to your money. Not you're going to retire in Greece. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'm very fortunate in the fact that I could right now. It'd be quite a dismal retirement, but I don't know. I actually like the fact that I can go back and forth. I've got property there, and I'll have a life here. And if I need to retire in Greece, if I want to retire in Greece, sure, it depends if if I have a partner, kids, family, whatever, and they want it, whatever it is. But I actually love the fact. Excuse me. I love the fact that I have properties there. What I do want to do. My dream is to go and buy an island property, be it Lefkada, Zakynthos, Kalinos. It's one of those islands. It's not like Santorini or Mykonos. I mean, I'd love one of those Santorini things, but to be honest, at the same time, I'd rather not deal with the tourists and all the bullshit that comes along with it. Like I was in Kalinos last year, and in fact, I was just looking at property in Kalinos now. My neighbor downstairs, she's from Kalinos, and I went to Kalinos with her and her friends and family and whatnot. But we were looking at something the other day where you can get a 90 square meter apartment in the heart of Kalinos, in the heart of the in Vothia, I think it is, or Bothia. Anyway, it's right in the city for €30,000. Now this thing's a derelict. It's absolutely derelict, which is perfect. That's what you want. That's what I want when I look at it, because I'm going to tear down everything anyway. I'm going to go there, tear it all out, redesign it, make it all brand new. See you later. So for €30,000 to then dump probably another 20 into that, who knows? I don't think it'll need much more. The only issue with islands is that because it's an island, you don't know what they have accessible. You don't know who's available, how many laborers they have, how many materials they have. Maybe the materials are coming in from Athens or wherever it's coming from. I dare say Athens, Crete, Rhodes, one of those, depending on where the island is. So that's where it could get a little bit hectic for you, or a little bit, financially as a burden. But realistically, that'd be my dream. I don't know about retiring Greece, but I mean, I wouldn't say no. To be honest, it's a very easy retirement in Greece. The food's cheaper, it's better. The climate's, I mean, I don't need to sell Greece to anyone. People know what Greece is about, but it is easier for people like us to go over there and retire in Greece, especially with post-COVID where jobs are now online. What good suburbs in Athens to invest in? Depends how much money you got. What are you looking at? If you want high class, very expensive Athens suburbs in Athens, you're looking at Vula Glifada, all those areas down near the beach. Safety. Well, safety is in you're not going to get stabbed or you're not going to get jumped. I don't know where you are, but in Melbourne right now, Brighton, which is one of the most expensive areas, all the houses are getting broken into. You'd think that would happen in Broadmeadows, but not. All the rich areas are getting broken into because that's where they think that the money is. So where's safe? Do you know what I mean? It depends what you consider safe. Again, it depends on what you're looking at, how much you want to spend, where you want to buy. Any place can be safe as long as your apartment or your house. Well, I mean, you're not really going to find a house in Athens, but your apartment is relatively on a good level in a nice, safe building. It's not about the area. I mean, it could be the area, but you could have the safest building in the area as well and be fine. Now, I wouldn't say you're a fam. I don't know how old you are, but I wouldn't recommend you go to Ammonia and buy. I'd buy an Ammonia. I don't give a shit. But I'm also a 39-year-old man at 110 kilos. Very rarely that I'm going to get touched, as opposed to a girl. So it all depends on what you consider safety. What about buying in Turkey? Don't know anything about Turkey, man. But you know what? Go nuts. I'd love to go to Turkey. Actually, I think Turkey's beautiful. I'd love to see Turkey. If you're actually looking at more of Europe, Serbia, I hear, is going off. Cheaper than Greece and similar situations. And very beautiful homes, very beautiful culture, very safe as well in Serbia. To a degree, obviously, like anywhere. But yeah, Serbia is definitely, if you're looking at going outside of Greece or somewhere else in Europe, I mean, Serbia. Italy's got the €1 properties. I don't know about that. I mean, I've looked at it myself as well, but it's an interesting concept, but I think there's some loopholes that are surrounding those things about buying in Italy. I think you've got to put down a deposit and with the deposit, which is like €5,000 or something, you've got to agree that you would have done a certain percentage of renovations to the property. But the issue is that so many people are buying these €1 properties that not many people are, that there's not enough laborers to go and build there. And also then because you're a European, you're an outsider coming into Italy to buy these €1 properties, they know that you got money. So all of a sudden you're paying triple or quadruple the price of what anyone else is locally. And also there's not enough time. And because they know that there's a time restraint on it, they're going to really push it out because they're going to say, well, either you pay what we ask or you lose your deposit. And also here's the kicker, you got to use the local guys. You can't actually bring anyone else in. So those €1 properties are very interesting to me. I'm not saying that they can't work. I'm just saying that there's a lot of limitations that I've looked up in that make me go, I don't know. But I mean, if you can make it work and let me know how it's done. And then I'll do it myself, honestly. I've just figured out the Greek situation because I'm back and forth between Greece. I was born in Greece. My parents live in Greece. My dad passed away last year. But so I'm from Thessaloniki, and that's where I just started my whole buying situation. I mean, it actually started before me because my parents started buying Thessaloniki and then bought in Chalkidiki, and we've got a beach house there that we're building and blah, blah. And so I'm just like, all right, I might as well just roll it on because as a single child, it's all come to me anyway. So I need to figure it out. Far out, I ramble. Sorry. It's not easy just putting down minutes, talking to cameras. It's so unnatural. And then you get randoms throwing you messages about interesting things. And I probably shouldn't be drinking alcohol whilst doing this as well. But anyway. So yeah, that's kind of my situation with the Elinikon project and whatnot. But again, it seems like a very good building, a very good project. Sorry, not building, because there's a shitload of buildings. It seems like a very interesting project. I mean, I'm glad that something like that is happening in Athens because it's boosting the economy. It's boosting the image that Greece has got in particular. Ever since our financial woes, we're looked upon as the derelict country who can't get their shit together, which is obviously true, but also we're doing stuff now as well. you know, and there's a lot of people that are against this building, but one way or another, it's bringing taxes back into the country. It's bringing money into the country because a lot of the internationals are coming in here, and they're not your everyday internationals. When you're looking at €1 million, it's not just anyone who can purchase that either. So they're obviously business professionals. Greek real estate. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's the AI throwing me. Still made in. So yeah, it's obviously Greek real estate. It's obviously international professionals who are highly regarded in business, because not anyone can just throw €1 million at a property internationally in a country that you don't live at, mind you. And then some, you know, just because you're going for more doesn't mean that there's not more expensive ones that people aren't buying as well. So, and that's taxes come straight back into the country. So that's someone's dollar, someone's US dollar, Australian dollar, other euro from Germany, or wherever it is, or, you know, Russian, whatever the hell they've got over there, because we are getting a lot of Russians that are coming over and buying. You're getting a lot of Israelis that are coming over and buying. You're getting a lot of Canadians, German, Americans, British, like all those people that are bringing their currency over, and that money stays in Greece, and the taxes stay in Greece. The labor goes to, or the labor hires Greek, because Athenian. All the materials come from Greece, majority anyway. They're really desperately trying to keep all the materials in Greece, so everything's going back into Greece. It's an €8 billion investment from Lambda Capital, whatever they called, Lambda something. So all that money's going to come back into Greece, one way or another. It's a good thing. I can't wait to get there. I will be there over the next few weeks. Not going to start in Athens. I obviously live in Thessaloniki, so I'll be there starting the renovations, and I'll take people through that stuff as well. Do some lives and do some videos, and you know, whatever it is. I'm there for a few clients as well. I will be in Athens, so I'm looking at properties for a client in Thessaloniki. I think I'm meeting up with a few people that want renovations done as well. So if you need anything, buyinggrace.com.au is the website. Buy in Greece on all the socials, Spotify, if you want to listen to things, if you don't have time to watch videos. I mean, I don't. I hate sitting back and watching YouTube videos. It just, unless I'm learning something, it makes me feel like I'm just wasting my time. I hate each their own. Send me messages, ask me questions, give me a call. My number's up there, which I don't know is a smart thing. But anyway, so yeah, I am reachable. You can get in touch with me. But it's yeah, that's about it for the Greek real estate. It's yeah, Crete, and I was looking at Crete not long ago as well, and Crete's on fire at the moment. So I hope everyone who has family in Crete is all good, but there'll be properties there that are going to go under as well because of that, and things just start to happen, unfortunately. Why did it pause? Because I wasn't using the app. I'm using the app. No one's watching. Also, I want to see what the islands have done this year, because Mykonos was flooded at the beginning of the year. Summer in Australia, winter in the rest of the world, right? So, or just after, I think it was, but they got flooded a lot. So I want to see how many of those places are actually have been renovated, or maybe have closed up. And now we're not talking the main big clubs and restaurants and shops down, you know, but a lot of places, people that don't have enough money to renovate or do any of that. Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see about Svitogato and see what's up for Mykonos and all that kind of stuff. The other thing that I'm going to do when I'm there, I'm going to have a chat with my lawyers, with my accountants, with my solicitors, with all the people. I'm going to try and get some interviews and throw them up on the YouTube channel for people, just so everyone can get an understanding of what it is exactly that the process that happens from the word of mouth, from from the horse's mouth, essentially. And if you have any questions that you want answered, throw them at me, and that way I can get them ready for when I'm there. Because I want firstly people to see who I'm working with, but also have the opportunity to ask some questions and see what happens. Maybe I'll do lives. We'll see. Maybe I'll probably have to communicate and translate, but I mean, it's fine. Whatever. We'll figure that out. So that in between filming the renovations. So the other thing I want to do is I've got two places. One that needs renovating, which is my first place. I want to just renovate it. The tenant who's in there is moving out. I've given him notice, so he's going to move out. I want to touch it up again, paint it, fix the roof, blah, 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 take you guys through all that and then release it. And then I'm building a shop. I'm converting it into a studio apartment with a loft in it as well. So that's probably the main purpose of me going for the property side of stuff, other than the clients, obviously. But I actually am going to film that whole process. Hopefully, let's say I'm very new to this stuff. People tell me to get GoPros, other ones tell me to just stick with my iPhone. I'll figure it out. One way or another, you'll see something. It might be lopsided or sideways, but then again, so the Spittor got those photos and probably still get sold. But the whole point is that I really want to take you guys from A to Z, and I don't think I will, because I just don't think I'll be there long enough for everything to get done. So it might be delayed, but essentially it's currently a shop. I've told them not to start on anything. I'm going to go there, pick a number between 1 and 100. No. And once I do all that, I want to start recording all that, tearing it all down, converting it into a property. And then ideally, I would love to just then, I mean, if I can manage it, I will, but I'd love to actually just get a tenant in there and show you guys exactly what it is. The whole process from literally, well, not buying a shop because I've already bought it, but actually taking a shop, tearing down the frontage, converting it into a studio apartment, furnishing all that, going through all that stuff, and then having a look on the Spittor Outdoors website and seeing how it is and what's needed to actually turn it into a listing, go through the interview process, and then finally end up with a tenant and, you know, be there for the signage and all that kind of stuff. What am I drinking? I'm drinking muscat. I just found it in the shelf. I was cooking. I needed some red wine, pulled it out. I was like, oh my God, that's muscat. So I've got a bit of a sweet tooth. Not really a red wine drinker. But yeah, thought I'd just pour myself a glass of muscat because it's cold here in Melbourne. And I just, Greg, I will be. I'll be hitting the tipper on the tennis in about a week. So yeah, it's interesting. It's nice. But that's kind of my goal for when I go to Greece, is be able to record everything from start to finish and show you guys the whole process, essentially, as much of it as I can anyway. I mean, I'm not personally building anything. I've got a builder there who's building stuff, but you know, every day I'll be touching base. And I've got two properties that are currently being essentially one needs renovating, one needs building. So I'm going to be flipping between both properties. Oh my God, nose is itchy. Sorry. Where have you invested in Greece? Thessaloniki and Chalkidiki is where I've invested. Predominantly in Thessaloniki because that's where I was born. My parents lived there. Yes, you do have to do a dodgy to buy the citizenship, though. It can be done, has plenty of times. What do you mean? What's the dodgy that you need to do to buy the citizenship? I don't understand. But yeah, Thessaloniki and Chalkidiki, we've got a beachside property in Chalkidiki that we're building, which is an interesting situation on its own. I've actually inherited that one. I haven't bought that one, but the rest of it is in Thessaloniki. Under the table cash, how my uncle did it when he was there. I'm confused as to what is it? What did he do? What are you talking about? What's the dodgy citizenship? Under the table cash. I'm very interested. I don't know what's going on. There's a solid conversation happening here in the comments, and I'm very intrigued. Under the table cash dodginess in Greece. How dare you? I beg your pardon. That never happens. That's how I got out of the military. What? So yeah, but yeah. To answer that, yeah, I do want to invest on an island. Are you also a dual citizen? Yes, I am. I was born there. Did Greek school there. Well, did school there, as they call it. Went back and forth, got called by the army, still wanted by the military. I'm very truly Greek. Needed to leave Oz, left for Greece, bought his citizenship and hasn't come back. When was that, though? But when was that? Because I don't know if that still applies. That's the only thing. So, because they have tightened up a lot. I mean, I'm not saying that Greece is impeccable, but they have tightened up a lot. In fact, they've just brought out, I mean, aside from the fact that Athens is now 2021 on COVID, maybe that's why. That's definitely a COVID situation. I don't know if it's still applicable, but in 2021, when the world was shut down, if he's buying citizenships, that's for COVID, guaranteed. I mean, there were people buying, you know, vaccine situations here in Australia. So that's definitely a COVID situation. But yes, what was I going to say? So Athens brought in a ban to ban short-term rentals in certain parts of Athens, which I believe is going to expand anyway. But my father's side is from Kozani. That's not too far from Thessaloniki. No, it's not. It's beautiful Kozani as well. But also what they're doing now to actually cut down on tax fraud and blah, 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 is that any kind of rental situation needs to go through the bank. So anything that needs to be paid for rent and all that kind of stuff needs to go from bank to bank. Now, obviously, people are going to still be doing cashies, but the issue then is, for argument's sake, one of my tenants in the first one that he's vacating, he's actually on what we call a bidoma, or bidomata, which is the government subsidiary, where they subsidize a portion of his rent because obviously he's not making enough, he's a student, whatever it is. So they'll subsidize maybe, I think, half the rent. For that to happen, I go to my accountant, and a lot of things happen through the accountants then. I'll go to my accountant and say, okay, yeah, that's fine. Because you can either do it in blocks of 6 months or 12 months, whatever. So I'll go, yep, cool. I'm happy to have them in for another 6 months. Here's my signature, whatever. We agree to this. This is the rate, blah, blah. So our accountant then puts it up on the government portal, which is a TaxisNet there, which is like our, I don't know, whatever it is that we have, our ATO, I guess, in Australia. And then he will get his accountant to go in and they connect up. The agreements happen. A lot of things happen through the accountancy. So then obviously it's already gone through the government. So I can't then say, oh, no, he didn't pay me, because they're like, well, we've got it in writing. You've accepted it. The contract's there. What do you mean he didn't pay? Did he get kicked out? Why didn't you end the term? Why didn't you terminate the lease? Do you have a property manager who takes care of the rentals? Hi. Yeah, me. And I do that for other people as well. I mean, I've got my own people in Greece, but yeah, generally I'm there once, twice a year. Doing a lot of this from Australia. I've got people over there as well. So yeah, it's me. This is why I started this whole business, because essentially it was just my little old mum, who's now 70, who is live and kicking, and she wants to. She's fighting me. I'm like, I'm going to put someone in place. And she's like, no, you're leaving it in my hands. I'm like, all right, fine. Gives us something to do, especially after my father passed away. But yeah, essentially I'm the one taking care of stuff. I'm taking all the calls. I'm organizing stuff. I've got my builders, people that build for me in Thessaloniki, that if I need something, I know the plumber is, I'm the electrician, blah, blah, all that kind of stuff. And I have other people in other parts of Greece. I haven't personally bought in Greece, but I've helped other people in Greece. So I've made those connections. So to manage the real estate and to manage the rents that are coming in, it's a very simple solution for me, especially given that I've been doing it for so long, and also, have these people in Greece in play. So I do offer those management services as well. And also the difference that I do, I actually don't go to real estate agents anymore, especially even with my personal things. Last year I leased one of the properties out, and I went to a real estate agent was my close friend of my dad's. And I was like, you know what, I'm done. Just take it off our hands, because, there was the death in the family. And he goes, oh, it'll only be, we'll get you 300. And I was like, 300? That's 120 less than what it's worth. And he goes, no, you won't get any more. Oh, I think he said 350 actually. And he's like, no, you won't get any more than that. And he called me up that day and goes, hey, I've got someone right here, right now, cash in hand, 300, we'll sign the deal. What do you want to do? And I said, no, absolutely not. Because I knew it was worth more. And I'm so glad that I stuck to my guns, because I did end up getting 420 for the thing. And now, granted, I put in a lot more work in the sense that I furnished it. I took the photos myself. I actually set it up as an Airbnb, and then later just decided against it because there was a lot of issues to make it turn into an Airbnb, get approved, blah, blah. I was running out of time. I just went, stuff it. Let's just put it out there. And I got a couple in, and they're like, yeah, this is beautiful. And, but the photos were legit photos. And I didn't get it, I was there, and I just watched a 5-minute YouTube video on how to fucking take proper photos. And it blew the minds of people, because they're like, oh my God, you haven't taken a photo of the ceiling, or the photo of the toilet, or the photo of a black window at 8 p.m. on a Wednesday night in the middle of winter, because that's what they do. Have a look at Spitogato and lose your fucking mind. I don't understand how things get sold. I mean, I understand because I bought, but like what you see on the photos, then what you see in person, you're like, what's going on here? And the agents just don't want to do it, because there's such a rental crisis at the moment, that if you do put up half a pot plant in the photo, it'll get leased out. They don't care, because they just go off the description. In fact, I remember one year when I first built my I bought a shop during COVID actually, and turned it into a studio apartment. I remember putting all this money into the bathroom and all this kind of stuff. I was very proud and blah blah blah. I was in Australia. I didn't see this place. Didn't see it. Just saw it on the listing. Told my mum to go check it out. She was there. It was COVID. Obviously, who was going to go anywhere? You like it? It's this much. 12,000 euro, 13,000 euros. I was like, yeah, fucking buy it. Let's go. And started the renovations from Australia. I was just picking out everything. Like I was going through an IKEA catalog. Yeah, give me that, give me that, give me that, give me that, whatever. Anyway, I finally ended up getting someone to get photos for me. I can't remember, but I had photos maybe. And it wasn't, yeah, because it was leased out by the time I got there. I must have gotten someone to get me proper photos, right? And I sent them to her. Where are they? Oh, I didn't put them up. Why? Oh, nah, I don't. Put them up. So she puts them up. I'm like, why can't I find a listing on Svitogato? Oh, you want me to advertise Svitogato? Yeah. Why? Why wouldn't you? I don't understand. So anyway, she ended up going there. I've had that. Luckily, we did. Found a beautiful young girl who was studying as a nurse. I've had her in there since day one. Kept the same rent because she's great. She looks after the place because I put in time and effort to build the place up into a nice place. I didn't spend millions, but I put in time and effort to make it look good. Got in someone decent who looks after the place. Stay on the same rent. I don't care. She was a student nurse. I don't care. What am I going to make? More? I want to raise the rent by 10 euro every month or whatever it is. Like for me, 10 euro is nothing. For her, it's a life. Like especially a student, 10 euro is a lot for them. So rather than run the risk of making an extra 10, 20, 30, whatever it is, I'd keep her on the same rent. I don't care. She's looking after the place. She can have, as long as she stays there, she can stay on the same rent. I don't mind. Actually, maybe not, but maybe it is time to raise it. I think it's gone. You've got a good heart. Well, thank you. But I also believe in karma. It's, and I say this to my clients as well. Oh, how much do you reckon we can get? You could get this. You could get this Optimum. If it was empty, I would say, do this and this and this, and I will get you this price. But a lot of the times, they're like, oh, but one person I was chatting to not long ago, and I met up with them into Saloniki because they want to renovate the place. So I've had someone in there for 10 years, whatever, at the same rent. And I'm like, well, yeah, you've missed out on all this rent, sure, but you can't raise the rent at the current situation in the place that needs renovating. To renovate, you probably need to kick them out, and also you could probably raise it another €100, realistically 150. But if they've been in there for 10 years, and you know them and you like them, they look after the place, you haven't had an issue, and they're paying every month, do you really care for €100? Like €1,000 a year, fine. It's at the current rate, it's $1,800 a year. But also they're struggling in Greece. There's no lie, they're struggling in Greece. When your minimum wage is €800 a month, 780 or whatever it is, up to €1,000 a month, those 10 euros are quite a bit. 10 euro. It's a ban a packet of smokes to a Greek. That's life. So you gotta look at those things. And also I don't know, maybe I'm a bad businessman because I just believe in karma and I believe in a good heart as well. Like sure, it's all about making money, but also I don't really want to strangle someone else to make an extra 10 euro, $10, $20, whatever the fuck it is. I don't know. I don't care. Who knows? Maybe that makes me an idiot. Maybe that makes me someone decent who, but I believe in karma anyway, because I wouldn't want that happening to me. So yeah, but I'm obviously not going to get stomped on as well and let people, where you need to put your foot down and make sure that you're not getting screwed over. But then you also employ someone like me, or you come to me and you go, hey, what do you think? And I'll tell you exactly what I think. And I'll tell you generally what it's going to be as well, because I know the Greek situation. I know the life that a Greek lives. I've lived it. And I know the Western ideologies and the expectations, which do not combine whatsoever, because what you expect in the West and what we have here does not play out in places like Greece. So you got to amalgamate. You got to bring the two together. You got to understand the conversation. But on that note, I am going to leave you guys. I'll be in Greece in a couple of weeks, so fire any questions at me. Again, buyinggrace.com.au is the website, at Buying Grace across all the platforms. Thank you very much. Mariaki, thank you. And I'm on Spotify if you don't want to watch videos or whatever. I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to spread the news there because I've heard all I've heard is negativity about buying properties in Greece. Everyone's like, you're an idiot, you're a malaka, you're going to get screwed over, you're going to this, you're going to that. Maybe, yeah, maybe. Or maybe you won't. Maybe it'll work out. And it has for me. Maybe I got lucky. Maybe I know what I'm doing. I don't know. It's working for me. And if I had certain issues, I know 50,000 other people having certain issues around the world. And to be honest, I've launched this business maybe 4 months ago, and I'm already seeing the numbers and the phone calls and the clients. So I'm obviously on. I've hit on something. Thank you, mate. Awesome. Cheers. I've been thinking about it and it's been helpful. So thank you. I appreciate it. It's people like you who give me this feedback that let me know that what I'm saying is true and helps someone. At the end of the day, if I can help someone make that jump, why not? Why should our properties in Greece go to external people? Why shouldn't it go to Greeks from Australia, from Canada, from wherever the fuck you are? I don't care. Why should it go to someone who's not Greek? Why are we not buying our own country? I don't understand. But then if we buy these, then there's someone's uncles, sisters, dogs, rabbits, cousins, fucking friend who thinks, oh no, Ducky and Mitchell got fucking screwed over by the Greeks, which is true. I've had Greeks try to screw me over. Okay, but there's other ways around it, man. Do you not enjoy going to Greece? Do you not enjoy going there for summer and what? You're paying someone to stay there. You're paying. Why not have your own place? They're cheap. Buy one. It's fine. I'll help you through it. Anyway, that's my thing. Thank you very much, guys, and enjoy the weekend. And I'll be in Greece in a few weeks, so you can hate me from Melbourne or wherever you're sitting from. But reach out to me. Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye bye.